What's up, everyone? All right, first day of April, and 30 minutes into the day, I'm done. $1,000 of profit in 30 minutes. That's awesome. There's not a lot of jobs out there where you can make $1,000 in 30 minutes. So I'm taking the money, and I'm gonna enjoy the day. It's not super warm out here, but it's sunny, and I'm gonna just kind of enjoy it. It's first day of April. Had a couple tough days Monday, Tuesday, but here, kind of back in the saddle, feeling good, and today's trades were really solid. They were just straightforward. It was easy, nice action, so I could use some more of that. Hopefully we see the same tomorrow and Friday, and we can finish up this week and start the month of April with a couple of nice days. So my focus right now is just to try to be the best teacher that I can for those of you guys who are at the very beginning of your learning curve, who are trying to figure out how to carve a little bit of profit for yourself out of this market. And if that means I trade a little bit less, or I avoid some of the more advanced trades or higher risk trades that sometimes can generate some nice wins, I'm okay with that for right now. So that's my focus here. It's kind of what I'm setting forward for the month of April, that this is a month with a lot of new students that I'm going to really try to focus on. First and foremost, being a good teacher and letting the profits just follow that, rather than leading with the mindset of I want to make this amount of money and then having to be really aggressive to do it. So a little bit of a change in the kind of mindset, and we'll see how it works. Every month is kind of a new opportunity to press that reset button, and so I'm doing it here for April, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. If you want to tell me what your goals are for the month of April, put them down below in the comments. I'll appreciate seeing them, and I'm sure many others will too. All right, so that's it for me. Enjoy the recap, and I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. All right, everyone, so midday market recap here. 30 minutes into the day, throwing in the towel, calling it a good day. Gap scan this morning, SFET was at the top of the watch list. So if we go over here, we'll see, actually SFET was not at the very top, but it was the leading stock that I was watching. So why don't we go through the watch list for a second. Leading gapper was DFFN. I did not like DFFN because it was below $1. So I'm not gonna trade stocks below $1. Let me get my drawing tool up here. There we go. Okay, so hang on, let me just. Let's go change the color on this. Okay. All right, so there we go. All right, so DFFN, not interested in that. It's too cheap. IFRX, not interested in that because when you look at the daily chart on it, or the pre-market chart, you can see that it has already given back so much of its gains. I thought at this point it just didn't look good. So not interested in that. DPW, too cheap. So no, no, no. SONM, too cheap, not interested. SFET was the first one that fit within my price range. So SFET, I actually traded yesterday and lost money on it. So I was a little hesitant about whether or not it was going to be worth trading today. However, I recognized that the pre-market high on this was about 258. We had a pullback at the open, and I bought the first 1 minute candle to make a new high at 245. I only bought 2,000 shares. I told myself today to be cautious. I just said, you know what? It's the first day of the month. I could really use a green day. I could really use a green day. Just a nice, easy, it just feels so much better to start the month on a green note. I know some of you guys right now are red on the day and probably thinking, yeah, well, thanks. I'm red and, now it's too late. All right, well, tomorrow's a new day, and hopefully you've been trading in the sim if you're a beginner. So in any case, 245 was the first entry. This is the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. It popped up to a high of about 260. I sold. I then got back in as it broke over 3 and then sold on the move up here. And then I bought the first 1 minute candle to make a new high right here and sold on this break of 250. This ended up being a false breakout and is high of day. But this was a very clean setup. This is straight out of the Warrior Pro classes, momentum trading. It's a gap and go, buying the first pullback. Risk was a stop down at about 240. So about 5-cent stop. I could have traded this with 6,000 or even 12,000 shares like I did on some other stocks earlier in the week, but I decided to be a little more conservative, which I think was the right move. Now, this did have news of quarterly earnings. It was a 50% increase year over year, which is great, but I wasn't totally sure, especially after losing on it yesterday. So that was SFET. The other three stocks I've traded, Meds, NVIV, and GTech. NVIV and GTech were both on the gap scanner. GTech is right here. NVIV, I must be missing it. It was somewhere on here. So in any case, GTech, well, let's look at Meds first. Meds was actually the second stock I traded. And I bought this pullback right here. And as you can see, this was a pretty lackluster breakout. It wasn't very big, and I sold it for a $34 profit. So I actually thought that might have been a red trade. So I counted that in my head as my first red trade because, when I'm not looking at the P&L, I don't know for sure how much I'm up or down, right? I'm kind of guessing. I have a sense, but I'm not positive. And so I knew I was green on SFET, and actually I thought I probably had made a little bit more on it. I thought I was up closer to maybe 2,000, but I'm not used to trading with 2,000 shares. So when you trade with small size, your winners are smaller. So SFET only 1,300 in profit, which is small for me. And then Meds I thought was my first red trade, and maybe I'll stretch this out here so it's easier to read. All right, so there we go. Move this over. So Meds was the first trade that I thought was red, right here. Then the second trade was NVIV. This stock hit the momentum scanner back here a couple times, and I bought it for the break of the pre-market highs. What I really liked about this stock was on the daily chart, Chapter 4 of the Warrior Pro course, big gap. That big gap is what I got excited about. And so I bought it for the break of 2, which was like right here. It wasn't a good 1-minute setup. However, it was a strong daily setup. So anyways, I took that trade, and it only hit a high of like 208, and I stopped out for an $80 loss. And then GTech popped up, and I bought this out of the second halt, which is always a little risky. I bought it up here at 455. It hit a high of, let's see, what was this? I don't know, around 475 before rolling over, and so I lost $250. And so with that, I was like, nope, that was 3 bad trades in a row. And I would say Meds was a bad trade because I'm basically break even on it. So 3 bad trades in a row, I'm done for the day. And hey, look at that, $1,000 in the first 30 minutes. So my work is done. I'd like to make a little more than 1,000. It's not quite my daily goal. It's not my daily average. It's below it. But at the same time, the writing's on the wall. I had a couple of good trades on SFET and then 3 kind of so-so trades in a row. So $1,000 in 30 minutes? Yeah, where else can you do that? I'm happy with that. So it's a good day. I want to be grateful for that. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. No doubt, if I chose to keep trading, I'm sure there will be other stocks that pop up. But if I have, a 4th trade and it's a loss, then I might be up only 900, and then up only 800, and then 700. And at this point, I've seen my P&L, and I'm not going to keep trading. So, one of the things that sometimes people will think is that to make more money, you need to trade longer hours. You need to spend more time trading. And I have consistently found that is not true. The longer I trade, the less I make. And if you want some verifiable proof of that with my metrics, I can show you my reports here. So this is my this was last year, from January 1st, 2019 through the end of March 2019. And so as it turned out, during that period, I was red on Wednesdays. I don't know, that was strange. But let's see. Oh, time of day is what I was going to show you. So I made 111,000 between 9:30 and 10. And then after 10 a.m., I was negative. I mean, this canceled that out. And so there was really nothing after 10 a.m. What about this year? Let's just change this to 20 and 20. Does that hold true 1 year later? And in fact, it does. I tried trading a little bit more past 10 a.m., a little through here. And then, of course, that surprise loss. And then when I have that surprise loss, then I spend the rest of the afternoon trying to make it back. And then another surprise loss. So I am breaking, all of this cancels each other out. All of it. It's not worth it. So, those are my metrics. Those are the metrics for my strategy. There may be other strategies that can accommodate afternoon trading, but I think the biggest battle each day when you trade is really your emotions. And after a certain point in the day, it is really hard to have looks like, I wonder if I lost my data. I have absolutely nothing is updating on these stocks. Well, I guess this is super low volume. APT. Yeah, so anyways, that battle with the emotions, because once you start giving back profit, then you feel like you got to keep trading and you get yourself into some trouble. So, Kieran, can I talk about the false breakout on SFET? Sure. So false breakouts are part of trading. My accuracy is about anywhere from 65 to 75%. This is one of those trades where the first candle to make a new high made sense. However, it had already pulled back quite a bit, all the way down to 317. And so by the time it popped up here, it was already up from the low like 70 cents. Some people who bought the dip were selling up here. And so that, I think, created a little bit of upside resistance. I got in just below and was selling here as well. So I think perhaps the stock was a little too extended and the pullback was a little premature, and it just ended up running out of steam. I don't know that there's a lot more to say of how you could necessarily evaluate why this happened the way it did. APT popping up. Again, one of the challenges for me with some of these stocks in this price range is that the spreads can get bigger, the whips can get bigger and more dramatic, and if you trade them the wrong way, you can get yourself into a real pickle. So I'd rather stick with the easier stuff, make $1,000. If that means I'm going to leave money on the table on some of these, so be it. I'm going to focus on the easy stuff right now, especially at the beginning of the month, just to try to start this month off strong. So good luck for those of you guys that keep trading today, and I will be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, same time as always. Class will be open 9 a.m., 9:15 we'll do our watch list, 9:30 the bell will ring. I'll be trading for about 30 minutes up to an hour. I'll try to make another $1,000, maybe more, and then we'll do the recap, and before we know it, we'll be at the end of the week. All right, so that's it for me. I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Hey, did you know every morning I go live to stream my pre-market watch list? Subscribe to the channel, press the alert button, and you'll get the notifications. And if you want to learn more about trading, check out the links in the description. And if you have questions, post them in the comments, because I personally respond to every comment posted on my channel.